All right, calling the order of the meeting of the May edition of the JAC Recreation Committee. We will start with the approval of last month's minutes. They were sent out in advance. Are there any errors or omissions anyone would like to bring up? All right, do I have a motion to approve those minutes?
A motion we approve the minutes from April, March.
All right. All in favor of, yes. All in favor? All right, it is unanimous. All right, minutes are approved. We do have, I think just one. Is it one visitor, or will you both speak?
Just,
okay. We will head right to that item now. The what we'll try to do is keep the mic to about 3 minutes. And that gives, well, it also keeps the meeting movement, but if there were more than one visitor, that gives everyone equal time. So if you would like to, I already know your name, but you can go ahead and introduce yourself.
yeah, I'm Reagan Shillstone. My husband William and I moved here about 6 or 7 years ago, in large part attracted by all of the outdoor recreational opportunities. We've used the hiking trails and everything quite a bit. It's been exciting to see the growth and the use and the mountain biking and everything else. But last year we got a surprise a change in our lives when he was diagnosed with cancer. And at that point, I started to realize how little there is here for anybody in a wheelchair or with a walker. We have a beautiful park, which we just love, Bluebird, but there's no way to get to the trail. So I'd like to ask you all to take into consideration putting in a paved path from the parking lot to the sidewalk, the trail part. We're probably the reason that there's now a sign there that says unloading and loading in the parking lot only, because what we did when he was in treatment was I'd drive the truck up to the sidewalk, unload the wheelchair, then put the truck back in the parking lot, and we could go for a walk around the trail. And evidently that was frowned upon by somebody who saw us doing that, because then very shortly after that, the sign came up. So what I just want to ask you all to, another one that would be just wonderful is a paved path from Allen's out to the sidewalk on that old golf course. But keep in mind that not everybody is a young mountain biker. So that's it. Thank you.
For clarity, we're talking about the Allen's area, the old cart pass.
Yes, the old
okay.
cart pass.
So the work on that trail, so they're going to be extending the Razorback Greenway. It's going to go behind Allen's. It's going to connect all the way to the far west side, where the parking lot is, on the far west side behind the bike shop. It's going to go immediately behind Allen's, and so I think that there's going to be a relatively easy access point right there.
Would you be able to get from the Razorback Greenway with all of the bikes and stuff on that to the cart path?
Yes, because it's going to intersect that. Now it's going to intersect more towards
up where the bathroom
is. So yes, you would be able to connect in that area. So I yeah, because when you were first talking, I was like going through all the parks, like Loch Lomond Park, the Dam Park, because that has a handicap entrance at the bottom, right next to the softball fields, baseball fields, and you can go around that park.
Okay, yeah, I'll have to look at that one, because
yeah,
we're on this side or the other side, so I
right.
haven't really.
Well, you might want to try it. It's a nice park.
Yeah, it's a nice park. It's not very big.
It's not the most level park, because so there is a lot of terrain change
Yeah,
there.
Branchwood Trail is great, but it's for pushing a wheelchair. There's no way.
No, going down would be fine if you like speed.
I haven't figured out how to only do downhill
yeah.
yet. though.
I would
But
agree
yeah.
that the Allen's Park, we call it Birksdale South.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's going to accommodate your need, and they're going in front of the Planning Commission either later on this month or early next month, which is one of the first steps in getting a city approval for that work. So we're still probably a year or more away from that being completed. So I just want to set clear expectations.
Okay, thank you very much.
And sorry that you're going through challenges.
We all have challenges at different times, so.
I'll mention too that my wife's on a knee scooter with a broken ankle, and we went to Glowing Springs yesterday, and that initial parking lot, not far from Allen's, I know it's crowded with bikers, especially yesterday.
Who knows when they'll get that loop actually going
Yeah,
again. I mean,
yeah.
You can walk out and you can walk back.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, the path in that area is going to be 12-foot wide, where most of the Razorback Greenway is 10-foot wide. So they know it's going to be a busy section, so they're making it 12-foot wide. So that, that's another good reason that would probably be a good place to go on a walk.
So some of you know me and yes, indeed. I just want to thank you all because I'm a disabled veteran from Vietnam, and it just does me good to see this kind of care that you gentlemen are showing. So I want to salute you all. You're doing a marvelous job for all of us. And being a disabled Vietnam vet, I salute you for everything that you do. Some of you I know, some of you I don't. But it's wonderful to see you considering this. That's all I'd like to say. I salute you all.
Well, and we thank you for your years of service.
Yeah, it was not an easy war to go through.
Sure.
So thank you all.
Thank you, William. All right, we will move on to no other visitors, we will move on to our amenity reports. We'll start out with mine, it's on the computer because my printer broke down. Mine is London Park. The restrooms were clean and well-stocked. Pavilion area looked great, it was in use at the time. Fish cleaning station was overflowing, and I mean overflowing. They must be doing well out there. Yes. The washout section of the road was filled, looks great, cruise right over there. However, there's several small, they're about a foot diameter, rather deep potholes there that, you could steer around unless you're in a boat. It might pose a problem, bounce the boat around. Just suggestion, fill it in with chat of some sort. Just, it's not a big deal. But.
So we're getting a quote. I'm supposed to have it tomorrow for about a 40-foot section of the lane that washes out.
Oh, okay.
It'll include a culvert and concrete. So we'll see how hard that hits us and whether we can get it done this summer or not. And then the dredging, we're still looking for the lake level to come down. Hopefully we'll get it by the end of this week. It should be, we need to be able to reach out far enough to be able to get it without drowning the equipment. So that's happening.
Perfect. I did have a couple neighbors ask, and I didn't want to speak for you at all, but I told them I don't think they're finished.
Right.
And it looks great. That's something I wanted to comment on. The creek so far looks fantastic. That rock ledge, they resituated the rocks. Yeah, that should do well. And it should also protect the bank the way they did it too.
There were some trees that had fallen across the creek upstream, and it had diverted the water to where it was hitting hard on that pavilion side.
Yeah.
And so the trees have been removed, and so it should be diverted more towards the other side at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I was impressed. I saw that. That's awesome. Areas for review, still only 2 kayaks and 1 canoe out of the 9 have the 25 stickers. They may have bought their stickers, just didn't get around to putting them on. Just make a note of that. Member interactions, the family using the pavilion commented on the park's beauty. Additional observations, this is interesting, and I have included a picture of this. There is a green pipe that's been chopped off at the top in front of the restrooms. You know, I'm not saying a mower did that, but it looks like that might have been the case. And I don't know if that's an important pipe, but if you look down in it, there's water inside that pipe. So, and I've included a picture with some arrows I can send off to you. Is that fresh water? Is green fresh water? Well, it's kind of blue though. It's blue actually. I have a problem between green and blue. Yeah. That would probably be it. Yeah. That is it. So I'll send you pictures, got little arrows going to it. Other than that, I have nothing else. Everything is awesome. And I will turn it over to Corey doing Branchwood and Loch Lomond.
Loch Lomond rec area first. Lots of good. It was pretty busy today. It's in good condition. It's good to see the park green. It looks a lot better when it's green. Talked to 3 members. They all pointed out the only area for review that any of us saw were that in the small dog area of the dog park, there are 2 trees with hanging limbs. One on the far end of the dog park is the larger limb that it looks like the top of the tree has fallen not all the way out. And then there's another one hanging over the gate, a smaller, much smaller one hanging over the gate. And then there's a hole in the fence, which y'all are obviously already aware of because there's blocks there to temporarily block it. But all 3 of the guys and the dogs seem to be happy with the park, so that was good. Tell you what, that one is the best amenity to have because it's just an excuse to go play with people's dogs. Yeah. Which I'm always a fan of. That's right. One of the guys did complain that those outdoor pools that we put in at that park, he does not like that there's fish in them. That was a joke. It's the hatchery. Branchwood looks good as usual. The trail looks great. Everything just looks great. Spoke with one guy, had nothing bad to say about it. This is some of Larry's nuns that are looking for problems, but if you're pulling into the parking lot at Branchwood and looking at the pool area, the windows that look into the indoor pool area, they're fogged up. Can't tell if it's a failed window or soap scum or what it is, but you can't actually see through the windows in the pool area. So there's pictures related to all that.
Yeah, that's the humidity from the indoor pool and the system is just, it's a never-ending losing battle.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I was just looking for something. We had a recent management change over there, and Nicole did a great job prior to Caitlin, and Caitlin, you can't tell that anything's changed. So fantastic. Things are good.
All right, I see Larry has skidded into home base just in time. He's joining us via Zoom. Larry, you're up next with Blowing Springs. Can you hear me? We cannot hear you, though.
Arlington, Texas.
There you go.
Sarcasm. Blowing Springs Gear Garden. Overall condition very good. I spoke with 2 employees in the booth. Campgrounds were about 50% full, which I think makes sense at that point. That was it was not a Sunday. We often get last minute cancellations and rain is expected. Team is starting to work with the new software system for reservations, so they don't have to just do it on the phone. Not fully operational. They find it easy to use to the extent that they've been using it. They talk to customers who have used this from a customer-facing perspective at other places who are very pleased with this software as well. We discussed possible paper trail maps, as I talked about in the last report. One of the employees suggested having QR codes that people could, use their phones to, that would allow people to download maps. So that's kind of an interesting idea. It certainly would be probably cheaper than paper maps. I was also asked by one employee, gee, we have all this strong census. Is there any possible expansion or maybe even another campsite in the POA? Obviously, I don't know anything about that. I always start with the porta potty at the back 40 parking lot because I consider that, I guess, part of my thing. I was out of hand soap and there's some liquor bottles on the ground. Areas for review, same as previously, the potholes as you enter lots 1 and 2 for the campground, paint needed on the Gear Garden water station, bench at the Blowing Springs parking lot needs repainting. I've talked about this before. Now, instead of full repaving the parking lot, maybe we could look at least filling in the holes with asphalt, just the potholes. And there's some areas where the past water or sewer line excavation has settled a little bit. I would think for next year, maybe we could look at resurfacing the Gear Garden lot. It also needs restriping, which you wouldn't do before you resurface. The Gear Garden toilets, however, have been painted, the walls, so they look really good since the last time I was there. Didn't speak with any guests. They were all out somewhere, I suppose. And no additional observations. That's my report.
Thanks for joining us, Larry. Appreciate it. All right, next, well, no, those are open. Tyree and Granton are open, and so just to put it out there, anyone interested in volunteering that position, we have that open. Right now, Liz, I believe, may be covering those for us on a temporary basis. So, but again, if you have anyone that you can reach out to, by all means, we could use some more volunteers. All right, well, Liz, I'll turn that over to you then.
So I'll start with Tyree. Overall condition is good. The picnic area was mowed, trash empty, swing set area in working order and clean. The bathrooms were open and clean. Boat launch area was clean. I did identify just 2 watercraft that don't have the 2025 sticker, and I put the numbers on my report if that helps you in any way. A member and his young son were fishing off the boat launch area when I was there, and they just told me how much they love the opportunity to fish so close to their home. So that's it on Tyree. Granton. The park overall looked good. Lawn mowed, restroom service, trash cans emptied, mutt mitts filled, picnic area clean. I attached 2 pictures, and maybe you could enlighten me. This may be our trailer, but there's a gray, at least when I was there on May 6th, a gray utility trailer parked in the grassy area off the parking lot.
It's ours.
Yeah. Okay. I kind of figured that, so no worries. Okay, so that was there. The fish cleaning station, the water's not working unless, I don't know how, I mean, shouldn't it just go on?
There's a series of switches that activate the solar.
On the right.
Mm-hmm.
Does it take a while?
It shouldn't. I'll check that out.
Would you check it? Because I kind of suspected that when I put them on and I still couldn't get water to come out.
Okay.
And then there was still 5 stickers that I identified where they haven't put their 2025 on.
And that's what we're finding. People haven't been out yet
That's kind of
for the first time.
Yeah.
And they're not making a special trip to do that.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and I put the numbers on there if you care for that. Okay, that's all on that one. And then Lake Avalon Park, which is the first time I was over there. So the park overall looked good. The sand had been delivered at that time for the beach and ready to be spread out. The zip line area was in working order. The restrooms are open and clean. The water fountain is working. Mutt mitts are filled. The lawn's mowed. The trash cans were empty. The volleyball area was clean. It looked really, really good. I didn't know if I was supposed to go over to the heated dock area. Is that part of the park? Does anybody?
I believe it has in the past.
I'd say that's more the Lakes Committee,
Okay, okay.
really.
Then I won't do it next time. I did do it this time, but I won't do it here on out. Area for review, the water spigot near the zip line area isn't working. I don't know if it never gets turned on. I don't know. So it's right when you first come in and park. Yeah, like, yeah, there's a trash can there.
Is it next to that grill?
Yes,
There's a grill there. It's by the pavilion.
but it's, yeah.
If it's a hydrant, it doesn't get winterized if it's a hydrant, because it should be a frost-free.
No, I didn't take a picture. I don't know if you consider it a hydrant or not. It's just a water. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. But water wasn't coming out. And everything else was working. That's why I wondered, because water fountain, bathrooms and everything were working.
Has it ever worked before?
I don't know, because it was the first time I checked it. I haven't done Avalon before. And actually, I did review JP's, but he never mentioned it worked or didn't work. So, and then there was just one watercraft that didn't have their 25 sticker on. And I didn't interact with any members. There weren't any there that morning, but I saw a really cool blue heron and I took a picture. That's all I've got.
Awesome, thank you, Liz.
You're welcome.
That's a lot to cover, I really appreciate that. Next up is the Kingsdale Recreation and Bella Vista Rec Center, Richard Taylor.
Yeah, I just went over there before I came to the meeting, and the playground and pavilion area, mini golf, all look really good. We're actually mowing it today, and so it looked really good. Really, I don't have anything to pick at there. I mean, everything's really good. The rec center always looks good. Everything's fine there. I guess the one issue we've got, I guess probably the biggest issue we've got at this complex is the tennis courts at the tennis center. I guess there's 4 of them, 1 and 2 and 7 and 8, that are in need of serious resurfacing. I mean, you can do just kind of a resurface that would last for a few months, but if the undersurface isn't redone, it really just is a temporary kind of fix. And I was talking with Kelly, and she enlightened me on some things that they're working on. Roland probably already knows about. And that is that USTA has money available. I guess they have about $10 million that they need to give away. And so I guess you're currently working on doing an application to the USTA to get some money, but you need to do an engineering study ahead of time, or there's some kind of preliminary work that needs to be done by the person that does the bid on the courts, the contractor, I guess you'd say, the engineer. And they're in the process right now, I guess, of going over that to get that information so they could submit an application to the tennis center. But it's expensive to do those courts. It's $200,000 to do 2 of them, probably more than that, might be now. I don't know, but it's a pretty expensive proposition. And I noticed on the 2025 proposed budget, which I'm not sure if that's the one that was ultimately approved or not, but there was $250,000 allocated.
That was a request, and it's been in there for a number of years. We've done the less expensive repairs, but the repairs, unless you fix the underlying problem, really don't last too long.
A few months, yeah.
But the problem is you're looking at $250,000 or more for just 2 courts, and we have 6 to go. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
So hopefully, the USTA will approve our application and give us some money. But my understanding is she's kind of concerned that if it doesn't work out and we don't get those courts fixed, that we might be down to 4 before too long, and because she's afraid on court 1, she told me that she's kind of watches who she sends out there, because there's cracks and whatnot, you know, she doesn't want someone get hurt, I guess, is what I'm saying.
So in terms of the USTA, we sent in our application 6 weeks ago, and last week we passed the first round. So now it's on to who our bid is with, who would actually do the project for us. And they were out here last week doing all the necessary measurements, and that was handed into the USTA. So now we're just waiting. So it's looking very good for the POA and with the USTA right now for.
Well, it's good that the first step got passed, you know, that the engineer found, whatever.
Let's not say very good until we get an answer. Let's just say we're working through the process and are optimistic.
Forever the optimist. But everything's going good at the tennis center. My understanding is they have over 30 USTA teams playing out of there. Bella Vista is a very popular place for everybody in the area to come play. I guess that's good, but it also makes it kind of crowded over there sometimes for people who want to play, but that's all I think I have.
All right, thank you, Richard. Next up is Keith with Lake Ann Park and Metfield Complex and Clubhouse.
Well said. Starting with Lake Dam, or Lake and Dam area and Waterfall, both areas in fantastic shape. Both the fishing and the swim docks, both in really good shape. Trash cans empty, portlet's good, no member interactions, and just overall everything's in good shape. In the launch area, greens are well kept, grass is well kept, parking in great shape, lawn facilities all well done, pavilion, barbecue area is good, portlets, both portlets are clean and well stocked, trash cans good, ramp cleaning station well kept. Only areas for the review, and now starting to look for 2025 stickers, and there's 2 boats with 24 registration. That newly built dock is still in place on 16, 17. I'm guessing we're fighting them. There's some debris around the ramp from one of a recent rain, just a lot of leaves and wooden debris on both sides of the ramp that probably needs to be picked up at some point. 4 canoes, 5 kayaks with 24 or earlier registration. And member interactions, just had a talk with Susanna, that's lived in Bella Vista 16 months from Texas, loves the people and amenities, loves hiking, biking, fishing, and pickleball only changes, and we hear this a lot, want more pickleball courts. Metfield, and while I talk about Metfield, I'll mention Branchwood pickleball courts, just in great shape. We've got the fences up, we've got the wind screens up. I did notice this morning that court 6 has one security tie holding the sign for court 6, so it's the next time we get over there to mess with the screens, just maybe take a look at the number 6. Yeah, it's not a 9, it's not a 6, it's halfway between the 2.
Please tell me that the bumper at Lake Ann Park has been fixed.
It has, and it's fantastic.
Thank you. I just wanted that stated.
A lot of screws holding that puppy down. But going back to Metfield, picnic and pickleball area, both in great shape. Playground has adequate amount of mulch, which I know that's hard. A lot of washout comes through there, but it looks great. Both portable permanent bathrooms are clean and well stocked. Pool area looks so close to being ready for opening. It's just really clean. Water looks great in there. Clubhouse and facilities at Metfield, all in great shape. People are liking the new equipment. No areas for review, and really nothing additional in pictures. The screens, the umbrellas that have been added to Metfield are all fantastic. So thanks for that.
And a couple of you guys have mentioned about the boat stickers. Don't be overly concerned about that. Our lake rangers are all over that. Every once in a while, I forget to put stickers on my kayaks, and I also get a letter saying you need to put them on there, and it's usually I've paid and they're in my drawer and I'm waiting for it to heat up just like everybody else. So don't be overtly concerned, especially in the springtime. Come middle of summer, that's a little bit of a different story, but the lake rangers do a really good job of hounding, gently nudging those people to make sure that they're renewing their boat registrations.
All right, moving on. I just realized I can't call it up on my computer, so I'll read this off the phone. Looks as though Brian was not able to make it. I'll have to look for his report, so I may back up here. Right now I have Alan's access through my phone, so I'll cover Alan for Tanyard Creek and Blowing Springs Greenway. We'll start with Tanyard Creek. Overall condition, the park is clean of litter and excellent shape, providing paved and soft trails for hikers, nature lovers, and pet walking. Bathrooms are clean and in good working condition. Poop station is well stocked and available for pets. Pavilion is clean and in good working order, ready for rentals. A new paver trail connecting the Tanyard Creek Practice Facility and Tanyard Creek Park is available for overflow parking. Areas for review. On Sunday, May 4th, the overflow parking area was not available from the paved lot. The orange cones were not removed. Vehicles were accessing the overflow lot via Lancashire Boulevard. Member interaction. Interaction with local family only had great things to say about Tanyard Creek Park. Tanyard Creek Nature Trail, just an update on the volunteers. They've started their spring 25 work schedule. On the current to-do list is normal cleaning, move a telephone pole back to the place on the trail to the waterfall, make minor changes to the West Rock approach to the chain bridge, boots required, fill 2 small holes on the trail to the driving range, pick up many golf balls in the cactus garden, replace foot rail on the suspension bridge, cut the large hanging vine on Phase 1 and rebar to new retaining wall. So that covers Tanyard Creek. We'll move on to Blowing Springs Greenway. Very well maintained, great connectivity to the area trails. Areas for review: gravel wash at intersection Lowride and BSGT behind camper cabins. Standing water behind Gear Garden restroom on the BSGT. Member interaction, couple visiting from Kansas, very complimentary of the accessibility and the beautiful, well-kept areas. Additional observations, member requests additional trash on the upper left end of the BSGT. That's the Gear, is that the Gear?
Blowing Springs Greenway Trail.
Greenway Trail, okay.
That's what I'm guessing.
It has to be, yeah. Water bottle fill station needed at Trailhead on the front parking lot. I believe he's had that in his report prior. Bella Vista Trail reports can be sourced from Trailblazers website on Facebook, Instagram. Okay. I will look real quick here to see if I have Brian's report. And I do not. Has Brian joined us via Zoom? He has not. Well, here it is. Hold on. I wouldn't want to skip that. Okay, I do have Brian's. So moving on to the gun and archery range. The overall condition, the pistol and rifle ranges are in good overall condition. The archery range is closed, awaiting equipment and landscaping. The trap and skeet area is in good overall condition. Other structures are in good condition except as noted in previous reports or as listed below. Areas for review. The RSOs conveyed the need to split the PA system between the rifle and pistol ranges so that announcements could be given to the individual ranges, rifle or pistol, instead of across the entire complex, to allow for more tailored communications during slower range usage. Additionally, there will be a need for a shade structure over the sitting area to the east end of the check-in area where the weather conditions become warmer. I spoke with a gentleman that had just finished using the pistol range and he had very positive opinions of the pistol and rifle ranges. He felt that ranges were much improved as compared to the pre-closing condition and looked forward to using the prone platform on the rifle range as soon as he could. And I'd have to agree, the change is remarkable. And that's all I have for the amenity reports. I think that covers them all.
One thing, Bob, is Larry. We're looking for someone to do Granton and Tyree, at least until we get a new member, right?
That is correct.
I'll do Granton. I realized I take my kayak there, at least every other week, so I'll just double up when I'm there with my boat. I'll do the report, certainly till we get someone on that, so I'll do Granton.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Larry.
Sure.
Tyree?
Oh. It's okay.
Okay. Okay.
Regarding the Tanyard Nature Trail, we're going to be, right now we have the, I don't want to call it a fenced-in area, but the area that we've marked off with the nasty caution tag, and we're going to actually install permanent fencing in that area. But still, there's going to be times that we're going to have the cones in place. Those are going to be after rainstorms, so forth. So
I was trying to remember what the weather was like on May the 4th, and I don't know, but it would likely have been blocked off because of wet ground.
yeah, because we don't need a mud hole over there or a lot of ruts and so forth. So if it rains on the day of, or if it was heavy rain the preceding days, we have to block that off. And I think we talked about the permanent solution to repave that area, the current parking lot, and enlarge it because of all the regulations that we would have to follow. You're looking at, I'm not joking, $250,000. That's a heck of a lot of, that's a bunch of pickleball courts, if you want to put it in that, that you can get, and we're going to get a lot more satisfaction out of that additional pickleball courts than a parking lot. So we are going to make that parking area, the grassy parking area, better looking with a permanent fence instead of the caution tape. But still, we're going to have times when we're going to have to block it off because of weather and so forth. So, and the golf course parking lot is now open, so you can do overflow parking down there, but the practice center is crazy busy. So you may not have luck finding parking down there. But don't park in front of people's front yards, because they already have me on speed idle.
And we're gonna stripe off those 2 spaces in front of the cable tomorrow.
Right. He's talking about the entry area because they're really parking spots. And so unfortunately, I do recall one weekend where people parked there, even though we had the grassy area open, but they actually parked in the 2 parking stalls. So we're actually gonna block those off so that it's as clear as possible.
All righty, we will move on to new business. Again, I will announce that member terms expire in June 2025. We will vote for those terms that will then expire 2028. That is Alan Atkins, my term, Robert Williams, and J.P. DeValiers, but he has chosen not to extend his term. So that leaves 1 open position. And the reason I say that is both Alan and I intend to reapply. And if we're not voted, well, then we'll have 3. But we intend to reapply next month. You're iffy. Yeah, I know I'm iffy. Also next month, I'll bring this up as just in case, and I discussed this with Tom earlier. There is a chance that I will not be here in July to hold the July meeting. And if it goes the way it was last year, we didn't have a quorum anyways. And so because of that, we may also vote on the committee positions as well. Anyone interested, send me an email. All right? And that would be next month's meeting, June. But if everything goes well and we may have another applicant, you know, we could stall it off till July if I can manage to be here for July, so.
Is that Monday after the 4th?
I don't think so. I think it's the 9th. Is that after the 4th? It is. Second Monday is the 14th? Okay, so we'll be clear. Something's happening here. Turn off a microphone. Okay. Right. Technical difficulties. Someone's trying to get somebody's attention. Okay. So I just wanted to put that out there under new business of what to possibly expect next month. And please get with me in the interim via email with questions, or if you'd like, you know, anything you want to bring up prior to that. So I've got a little heads up. Board liaisons, I see no one here, except I do see Jeff's iPhone. I don't see a picture. Jeff, are you on? I'm not sure he is on. If he is, you're welcome to just kind of barge in if you need to. Okay. So far no audio, Jeff. But I do see your iPhone up there. All right. Okay, moving on to the POA.
Sorry.
You're there. All right.
I just saying I'm here. I don't have anything to add, but I was trying to figure out how to turn my speaker on. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Jeff. All right, moving on to the POA staff reports. We will start with Tom Judson.
Just to remind everybody at home to submit their ballots for the board election. We are at 17.3%, which is definitely lower than it normally is. And it ends next Tuesday is the annual meeting. And so we normally get 22 to 25%, and I don't know if we're going to get 20%. So everybody needs to vote and participate, and that's it.
Thank you, Tom. Next up is Rick.
The Norwood drawdown and everything related to that is complete. We will be removing the siphon pipe later this summer. Lake Brittany is at full pool as of right now, so there's no pump on currently. POA Rangers made 4,400 contacts in the month of April. That compares to 4,290 in March. April was actually just a little bit ahead of March. But if you think about all the rain we got, there weren't a lot of people out. And then in 2024, we're compared to 2024, we're actually down a little bit for the month of April. The grounds maintenance guys have completed their tour of the lakes, putting buoys back where they belong and replacing lights. The Marina fly tire dock has been repaired. And the dock bumpers have been reattached in most places, but things tend to happen almost on a daily basis. So if you know of anything, continue to let us know. The eroded stream bank at London Landing was repaired. Again, the dredging at there and at Granton will take place either later this week or early next week. Our staffing, we've got all 4 summer rangers hired, and they have completed their training. Feel like we're going to have a really good summer this year with our crop of rangers. We're looking for 1 additional person in grounds maintenance. In our fisheries area, the Kids Fishing Derby was a success on Saturday. We had 67 kids participate. Some really large fish, up to 12 pounds, were caught. Our grass carp raffle continues. We'll be drawing another winner of a $100 gift card later towards the end of this month. So far, we've gotten 18 carp removed, and our creel survey continues. So you can feel free to take that as you would. We had a really large field trip at Tanyard Creek last Friday. Again, we're going to do some work at the parking lot for access to the grassy area. John may talk about this, but so we concluded our relationship with Ozark Sportsman, who were allowing us to send our gun range participants to their facility. So April was the last month for that. We had been getting a bill for anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000 in recent months, but for April, our range was open, but we still allowed people to go there who may not have gotten word. So they only charged us $260 for April, so the word has gotten around. We sprayed the water at the beach for algae today, and we'll be helping with cleanup tomorrow. And that's what I've got. Yes.
I just said, I know you probably told us before, but when you say you have 4,400 contacts in the month of April, what constitutes a contact?
So if you have a boat with 8 people on it, and one person does all the talking, that's 8 contacts.
Okay, but those are actual physical contacts where
Yes.
they go up and ask to see a card or whatever.
Yep. Okay, guys, get around.
Now, Rick, can I ask where the majority of these grass carp are being found? The reason I ask is I know one area that they hang out in, and there's been a boat there in the evenings, and short of a disco ball, that boat is lit up with. Is that what they're after?
So those guys are bow fishing for carp.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. They tend to be at the backs of shallow coves is where you find them most often. There are folks that feed, so
yeah,
they would be available in those locations. I'm not going to pinpoint those
Right.
areas because I don't want to cause an interaction between those that are feeding and those that are harvesting. But yeah, generally shallower areas at the backs of coves.
Okay. Yeah, I thought that's what they were.
Yeah.
All right, next up, via Zoom, I believe, is John.
Hello. So over at the gun range, I think I talked last month about a large tournament that we had, but I didn't have the exact numbers. I thought maybe it was going to be larger than our largest tournament last year, which was our record setter. It actually didn't quite get there, but it was really close. It was within just a couple hundred birds, so you're talking about a round or two. But that tournament threw out about 16,700 birds, and we had nearly 17,000 on the previous largest ever tournament we've ever had. So obviously things over at Trap and Skeet are going really well. This last weekend we did have another tournament. They threw out 12,000 targets at that one. However, it was on Mother's Day, so I think we had a little bit of limited participation in that one. Other than that, over at the Trap and Skeet range, things are pretty steady. Weekends are busy. We're right in the heart of our tournament season, so those guys are just staying busy over there. Rifle pistol, also very steady. Right now, our busiest day is on Saturdays. The amount of space that we've, the increase in space that we've made over at Rifle and Pistol means that there's very little waiting to be done now, at least as of yet, and I'll keep my fingers crossed that it stays that way. But there's been no waiting. Saturday has been our busiest day. We're learning things all the time, learning our blind spots, so to speak, not actual blind spots, but so to speak, our blind spots. Just learning things all the time and getting better at that operation. And that's all I've got.
Well, thank you, John. Next up would be Trey.
Hello. Pretty boring numbers from the trail this month. we are just right about flat, 42,000 counts, which is even with 2024. Blowing Springs still huge. Everybody's still going to Huntley. We're at 122,000 counts, which is right where we were last year at this time. If you were here for 2024, you know what happened in 2025. We did have some good news though. The It'll Bluff Out Trail, which is the trail that's running along Bella Vista Way, did open just this last week. So that goes Blowing Springs to Trafalgar is what the section of it that is open. That is a black trail. So if you're on a bike, that's a me and above level of mountain bike rider, but you can hike it. It's a skinny trail. It's not jumps and anything dangerous. So for walkers, it's doable. Be careful out there though. We did a group work day with FAST and Trailblazers. So that was a bunch of the volunteers in the area. This last weekend, they got together and did some grading. That went great. And I think we'll see a bunch more of those in the future. And FAST is having their board meeting, open board meeting, which happens every quarter here in the boardroom, June 9th, 5:30. So it's open to everybody. If you want to come and see what they're about or what they have going on. That's a good time to kind of learn what the happenings are. So good things going on.
Hey, Trey, if I could ask a question, the mention I just happened to see yesterday at Blowing Springs, the rock that accumulates on the paved trail, is that the merge of a soft trail and a hard trail? And it probably, number of 2 or 3 days, bikes coming down that soft trail are going to bring rock onto the paved trail, which makes it a little uncomfortable for people in chairs or others.
It's worse now. It's just worse in the spring because we get some mud with the rain too.
Yeah.
So we scrape it off and kick it back, and all year there's a little bit, but it's just worse during the spring. Next month, and then for the next 6 months, we'll come through and scrape it, and it'll be good.
So who maintains that? Is that something people
That's
at
ours.
the campground actually manage just with a flat shovel, or?
It's our maintenance guys.
Okay, okay.
So I also had a question. I don't know if you actually know 2 questions. I'm not sure you'll have the answer to these, but I know that Pedal It Forward had an event there at Blowing Springs. Were you aware of that one?
Yeah.
Was that successful?
Pancakes.
Pedaling for pancakes.
Pedaling for pancakes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know compared to other years. It looked like it went fantastic,
Okay.
but I haven't seen the numbers on it.
Okay. And then another question that I'm asked quite often is the bridge. I don't know how to refer to this bridge other with the big green bicycle sculpture. So does that give you a clue where this bridge is at? Adjacent to maybe the Kryliki building there?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That big washout area. Are there any plans? Have you heard anything to work around on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're working. That's a
ongoing.
A couple years.
Okay.
Deal.
Yeah, I'm asked that quite often.
Yeah. It's on the move. That's not us though.
And it's further inland. They're not replacing the bridge that failed.
No. They're moving
They're actually
the trail. Yeah,
they're
moving the trail.
rerouting it and putting in a new one.
Yeah.
Good idea.
And that'll be east.
Yeah, it'll
Where
be
it is
further
now.
east.
71.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so needed. I know it's so hard for us Bella Vistans to
connect the
want to go to Bentonville, and it just yes, we have a good solution along the side of the road. It's just not fun. That'll be a godsend when we get that bridge.
It's high priority, and it's also high dollar, and there's a lot of moving parts there. But they are working on it. We get updates quite a bit, and it's coming.
That's really good to know. I can pass that on. All right. Roland, you are up next.
So recreation's been extremely exciting and busy the last several weeks. As you have seen, pools are really close to opening up. A big push with my maintenance team and aquatics manager getting those pools up to speed. As you can see, Metfield and BVRC are looking really good. Troubleshooting along the way, so far it's been pretty good. So we are on pace to open up as scheduled. We have our health inspector showing up on Wednesday. Wednesday, so that'll be an all-day event where he will go around to the 2 facilities and the beach inspecting, and we're looking really good so far. Keith, you mentioned mulch. Actually, we have a mulch drop-off over at Metfield this coming Wednesday. So out of all the playgrounds, that's the one that actually needs mulch the most. So we have a special playground mulch being dropped off actually on Wednesday. So yeah. Annual in-service for our lifeguards was this Saturday. So a lot of new faces and returning members to our team. So that was exciting. We did an in-service training all day for them. And we did a community dance this previous, or on Saturday, we did a line dancing at BVRC, so there was a good turnout. We had food and beverage offered, so well received, some good comments there. And then what Rick said earlier, tomorrow it's full steam ahead with my crew and his crew cleaning up Lake Avalon, so that'll be a full day event there.
Did I hear you say line dancing event? Did that include lessons, or was that just a line dancing? Do you know much?
Yeah, so they were actually instructing how to do line dancing and stuff. Yeah, so it was a bit of both, you know, where you could learn how to line dance, and then they would open it up so you could line dance. So, yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. Right.
Question, when are the pools opening, assuming they pass the inspection?
Is that Labor Day?
They should be open on the 24th.
Thanks.
All right, if there are no additions or comments, our next committee meeting will be June 9th. I have the 9th. Did you say the 14th? 9th is correct. Okay. 9th, yes, July, okay. Next committee meeting is June 9th, 2025, 4:00 p.m. Boardroom live stream. This meeting is adjourned.